Everyone, Richard Carlton here. Welcome to day 2 of FileMaker's Developer Conference for 2019. It's been an action-packed time, and we have some exciting stuff coming just for you. We're here with our awesome team, which was originally supposed to be just 2 of us talking, but Nick Hunter, who we all know from Lead Design, is such an awesome guy. I want to introduce Nick Hunter.
Hello.
And he is a very popular item here at DevCon. In fact, we're charging for him to have a signature. If you would like him to sign your badge, it's $5. $5, and we can do all that. So welcome, Nick Hunter. We also have Garrett Debsky, one of our certified senior engineers, been around a long time, and we're happy to have him here. It's been, well, yesterday was a lot to digest, right?
Sure was.
It was a lot to digest, and today is going to be a tremendous amount of additional information. So I want to start off the conversation by saying that yesterday was mostly kind of a strategic high-altitude day, like, hey, we're changing our name. Hey, we have a new CEO. Hey, by the way, we bought out this company and all their intellectual property. So we are live at DevCon, so there are people eating, drinking, getting carried away, live rock and roll. In fact, we did find the Pac-Man opener for everyone. We thought that was really funny. That was put together by some anonymous person on the internet. And it was so funny that we just thought we'd roll it in with our opener. All right, cool. So, gentlemen, what is Claris Connect? Because, I mean, if we recap from yesterday, FileMaker Incorporated, the company, has been rebranded Claris International. Right?
Yes.
And because they're Claris International, they bought out a company, brought the technology in, and they're effectively added a new product, right?
I have a information from a top-notch information about a very high-end information.
Very reputable source.
Yeah, reputable source. And so they call the company Claris International because during those 25 years where the Claris name was dormant, they kept the right for the US only. They dropped the rights of all the other countries, and then you have other countries like Germany, where there's a company named Claris in Germany. So they have the claris.de domain names, on the internet. So they couldn't come and say, hey, by the way, that's ours, because it's gone. It's 20 plus years, so they have to come with Claris International. So for the US, Claris, okay, Claris.com will work, but for other countries, that maybe will be clarisinternational.com.
So what I want to say up front is like the most commonly question asked thing yesterday, I want to just cover this so everyone hears this, is that the FileMaker platform is a platform of products. It's a set of products that work together. That is not changing in terms of its name, right? The company that's producing it, however, will no longer be referred to as FileMaker Incorporated. They will be called Claris or Claris International. We're just going to call it Claris for simplicity. Now, they do have one net new product, and we were talking about it yesterday, speculating a little bit. Today they gave us a demo, showed it to us. We have some slides to show you. We also have the approximate ship schedule on that, which is very exciting as well. So you two have actually more information than I do at this point, so why don't we let you two have the conversation?
When we saw the keynote this morning, many people were extremely perplexed about what's going on here. They were questioning themselves, and they were you know that something were kind of bothering people when you have the upload where they were like that, so we upload, that's great, but what we do. So, and then we went to the in-deep kind of dive demo of the product, and then everything came to clarity, right? And then finally you had the big applause that we used to have, because finally people could position themselves with this new product, and they could immediately see what they could do with the product, what they can achieve with it, which kind of customer we can use this and stuff like that. So that everything was, that was exactly what you were feeling.
Yeah,
too, right?
and I think we experienced what a lot of you out there were kind of messaging into us yesterday, and was kind of the confusion. We experienced that this morning. Yesterday there was so much excitement over the change of the name, new products coming. I think we were kind of overwhelmed with that, and we lost sight of what what is this new product and how does that affect what the current product line is? And so after the keynote this morning, me and Nick were looking at each other with dazed faces like, what is going on? And then we went to the follow-up deep dive session, and that's where our clarity kind of came in.
So let's explain a little bit what we see here. So first of all, what is Claris Connect? Claris Connect is a product that is totally, completely independent from FileMaker. That means you can use Claris Connect and never ever use FileMaker if you don't want. It's a product. It's a standalone product. It's a product that, besides FileMaker, FileMaker can talk to Claris Connect. Claris Connect can talk to FileMaker, but it's not mandatory to use FileMaker to use Claris Connect and vice versa. So that's the reason why they wanted to change the name of the company, because they couldn't have one of the product to have the name of the company anymore because it wasn't making any sense, right? So because they wanted to convey that this product, it's not a subset of FileMaker, it's a standalone product on the side. This is my understanding. I mean, I'm not sure if that okay.
Real quick, what I'm going to do is walk people through a little bit of this, and you guys will be better at doing this, but this is kind of the overview, and then the idea is that as people integrate and work through this, they can select an application to connect with,
yes,
right?
Actually, it's kind of for the analogy that I was going to say here. In FileMaker, we have the scripting workspace. This is a workflow workspace. That means you can say, okay, go to my MailChimp account, get the recipient list that I have there, then go to FileMaker, go to this layout, get me the first name, last name, or whatever information from this layout. Do a search, for example, on FileMaker, because Connect can trigger scripts in FileMaker. Get all the information from those records you found, and bring them back to MailChimp, right, and send them to the recipient list. So this is kind of it's like an automator on Mac. It's a workflow automator on Mac. It's a workflow kind of management that can call FileMaker solution, call FileMaker layout and FileMaker fields and table and stuff like that, and vice versa. You can write things. You can say create record, delete record. So it's kind of a workflow on both sides. So you can use FileMaker as a database engine and like a source of information and target of information. But you can use, like, for example, I can see a customer of mine that we are struggling for now to get all the information from a SQL database and bring them into a FileMaker file, and then from the FileMaker file we can dispatch to other FileMaker files. So here we can remove this step of having this ODBC SQL stuff. We can just go here with Connect, say, okay, go to this SQL stuff, grab those information, send it back to me, and then go to FileMaker and go there, and dispatch the information. This is extremely exciting. This is extremely powerful. So we were extremely skeptical this morning, and we are excited today.
And something to point out is that the FileMaker can either be the trigger of your workflow, it can be the recipient of your workflow, or you can. They even showed a use case where you can actually schedule these workflows. So every hour, every night, you can have something happen, and that something can involve all kinds of applications. It does not just have to be FileMaker. So very powerful, very easy to use. You could take all the stuff that you can do with all these different APIs right now, but you can do them in a matter of a minute or two. No coding at all.
No coding at all. And what is very exciting is, okay, you have this is built in. But if you want to be, you know what, I'm kind of a ninja, kind of a wire coding guy, and I want my own Java stuff and stuff. I want to add my own stuff. Oh yeah, you can crack the nut, get inside, dive, and then modify the code behind the thing. You can even build your own workflow, right? So it's kind of, I mean, if that is a 1.0 version, I can't even imagine where that can go, right? It's a non-ending story now.
So Claris did give us kind of a schedule on this, right? So what do we have for the shipping schedule? Yeah.
Yeah, so the shipping schedule that we were told is by the end of October, the beta version of Claris Connect will ship. And then fiscal year 20, so sometime early or spring next year, they were more vague on the second part of that schedule, but sometime early or spring next year, the full version would ship. And just to go back to the you know, this is a new product. It's not replacing FileMaker, but it will, as a FileMaker developer, as a citizen developer out there, it will make your life interacting with today's business workflows so much easier. And some of the options that they had available that they showed were, you know, creating new records in FileMaker, deleting records in FileMaker, searching records in FileMaker, and performing scripts, which opens everything else. Everything else.
You have if you can perform scripts, that means you can do pretty much everything you want to with FileMaker, right? So it's so that's why it's exciting. So since we here to convey a little bit the feeling that we have, the keynote this morning, everybody was lost, and because the missing piece was the connection between this new product, Claris Connect, and Claris FileMaker. How that can be assembled, how you can bring both together, right? So that was the big question. And when we saw it in action, we said, okay, it makes perfectly sense. It's like, okay, it's a perfect companion on FileMaker. That was missing so far, and I totally understand why it is on the cloud. Now, what confused people this morning is when they start combining both together, the Claris Connect brand new technology in the cloud, and at the same time they demonstrated this morning kind of a FileMaker on the web, and they combined both information together, and that confused everybody. FileMaker is working on for decades. Okay, they even have a product the code name Fusion, so I can tell about it because it's dead. So they revived this project apparently. But so what I saw this morning about this, that's very quick. It's not that light actually. It's kind of evolved, right? But as we talked to Rick Kalman and said, you know, we still need trucks, you know, like with the analogy with when Steve Jobs said, okay, we don't need, you know, we need iPads, but you know, and you know, Mac computers are trucks, but we still need trucks, right? So
yeah, I think the idea is that so to bring this kind of conversation back, there's actually quite a bit discussed today. We're just talking about the one that's the biggest news. It's also the piece that has to do with the acquisition. It's also the piece that frankly drove the renaming or the rebranding of the company, which is this Claris Connect piece, this StamPlay piece. So we do have some questions that do come up periodically. You guys make sure you flip your switches correctly so they can hear us.
Well, there's one here. What does Claris Connect work with? Does it work with WordPress, and what other apps does it connect to?
Yeah, that was one of the questions.
In the screenshots that they showed this morning, they did not show WordPress. They did show.
So I'm looking at what they did show today. They were talking about Twilio, Slack, HubSpot, MailChimp. These are some of the screenshots, the things that they have here. According to StamPlay, they have 150 integrations. So I don't know what those 150
and growing. They have even more on the.
I would assume WordPress would be one of them, but what it will actually do, I don't know. But this is, you know, obviously relevant content here. So can we promise what it'll do? I mean, here's the other part of this, and this is really important. I want to mention this, in that you see QuickBooks on here, and I was talking to some people, the productive computing folks, about QuickBooks, and we were debating whether they would actually connect QuickBooks or not. The rub with connecting to QuickBooks, it's not just the technology of, oh, I'm moving a bit of data from point A to point B and back and forth. They're interacting with accounting and understanding how that works, and understanding that there are the way accounts are managed and the way QuickBooks actually operates. There's a whole thing to learn with QuickBooks, Garrett, right? Over and above just the synchronization of the data, the way they manage accounts, the way they manage contacts. I'm looking at Nathan Allen, who's sitting right over here, right? In fact, we ought to steer one of the cameras to Nathan, right? So he was busy building out the QuickBooks stuff, right, in Starting Point. So we have QuickBooks built into the new Starting Point using the PCI plugin. Only part of it is really the communication. A huge part of it is just understanding what QuickBooks needs. This software won't solve that, right? I mean, think of all the non-technical parts. So to do an integration is still going to take some effort. It's like, oh, here's QuickBooks. Now it magically reads my account ledger out of FileMaker. Is a whole issue of sales tax and sales management and reporting and how you establish customers and products and price lists. And the way you might do it in FileMaker may not be the accepted way that it is done in the accounting world, right? And so there's a bit. So this will aid. This will make your lives easier. It just doesn't magically solve all the world's problems.
No. This is it. Will make the bridge. It will build the bridge, a brand spanking new bridge, like with 5 ways on top, 5 ways on the bottom, but you still need to drive the car.
Well,
right. So it's so you have the bridge. But you can drive a motorcycle, a car, a truck, a van. You can
And I think part of what's missing is you're not going to just hit QuickBooks and it's done. You're going to hit QuickBooks and then you're going to have to go through 2 or 3 steps to set it up. Yeah. It's going to be, okay, here's what I want. Here's my fields from whatever your last step was. So say I'm grabbing information out of FileMaker, and then here's in QuickBooks I want to put it into the expenses table, and then here's the fields in the expenses table that I want to fill out. So you're going to be able to, just because you click QuickBooks that you're not done, you're going to have to set up the business logic then in the next couple steps to get it done.
All right, more questions. Garrett, hit our questions up for us.
Yeah, so next question we got. So is there another version of FileMaker for web browser that is not WebDirect? And I think that has to do with, you mentioned the third thing they showed in the keynote.
So, and keep in mind, you need to frame it as long term.
It's not available tomorrow. Yeah.
Well, even next year.
Even next year. Yeah. This is a future of FileMaker, or a window on the future, right? So, but we still need to build the DeLorean car to go there, right? So, what they demonstrate today is that you can build light. A very limited version of FileMaker file within on the web. That means you can go and you can build an app, create fields, add portals, and everything is creating it automatically. So that's great.
And just to frame the conversation a little more, they were calling this Claris Next Gen.
Yes.
So we don't even know if it's FileMaker at this point or if this is yet another product. And this is very much, do not make business plans on this. This might not even come to market. Yeah, this is at least a year or 2 down the road if it shows up.
Probably 2.
And probably 2 or 3. And we're, but what they showed is what Nick said.
Yeah. So but WebDirect remains. I mean, WebDirect remains where you run an application. I'm not saying building something, right? So this morning they show a FileMaker version of Airtable for who knows the products. Okay, so it's a FileMaker competitor of Airtable. So something you can build something very quickly, simple and on the fly that you need right now, right? So this is what it's for, but it's not a replacement of FileMaker whatsoever. And it's not a replacement of WebDirect. WebDirect will remain. WebDirect is where you have the power to, to display, to run FileMaker solution in the web, right?
Yeah. Next question we got. Can you tell us more about other things that were presented today? There was 3 features that they showed that had to do with mostly FileMaker Go. So the NFC reading.
Yeah.
So from FileMaker Go, you can have a card that has NFC to basically tap your phone or iPad with it, and FileMaker Go takes some action, some kind of NFC triggering, pretty much. They also had the ability to do Siri shortcuts.
Yes.
So what that is you can build Siri shortcuts on your iPhone now. What this would let you do is basically from FileMaker specify, okay, I want these 5 scripts to be available to Siri. So you could say, kind of like you can go and specify that a script is run it with admin permissions or something like that. You would say, okay, these 5 scripts, give them Siri permissions.
Yeah, but that is, okay, they present that as a new product in FileMaker Go, but that is an iOS product where FileMaker Go is compatible with. We are doing that for quite a time now, and I don't know if my friend Alan is watching us, but we were working on this for some time. So yeah, so that was let's say, that's why I'm saying there's no new really feature that can impact people. The NFC reading, okay, that impacts kind of very limited person. That's great for the future, it's great but the big thing was Claris Connect. Okay.
Yeah, I think so. You can see a difference in enthusiasm based upon personal interest, right? So they did show a couple things that are 19 specific, and we looked 19 specific. They did cover some 19 stuff, the machine learning stuff, some enhanced Siri integration, which take it or leave it. And then the near field. You mentioned the near field communication where you're scanning IDs and stuff. That's cool. However, the biggest net impact that it caused the name change of the company is the stamp play stuff, right? That's really the biggest, most 3D piece.
That's another thing that I want to say, because you guys, if you guys know me and if you guys saw my development and stuff like that, and if you are using the file that we have available for you for download on our platform, it's that I'm using a lot of the card style windows, the new card windows so that a big, huge announcement today for me is that card style windows are now available on WebDirect. So this is huge for who is using card style windows. To have this available on WebDirect, that will add a new dimension on the development of WebDirect development. I can see immediately. Monday morning, I will be back on some of my development and add this feature immediately if that's available, because it's a big announcement for WebDirect, and it sounds small, but trust me, it's big. Okay, so this actually is as big as Claris Connect to me. Okay, so it's as you said, it's depending on the interest.
So we also have Albert here from Smallco, and he's live on TV. Put him on TV quick. But what we want to do is figure out your take on DevCon.
I loved it. It was really exciting. I mean, the pace of change. Here's the thing. 23 years, right? We saw FileMaker Futures sessions. We saw this little thingy that could maybe turn something upside down. And look, the change has happened at FileMaker in terms of the vision for their product is just amazing. It's focused. It's moving forward. It's really inspiring. It's exciting.
It's funny how it is. This morning at 9 a.m., I was like, what the heck I'm doing here? And at 11 a.m., like I said, this is huge. It's an exciting time to be a FileMaker developer. I think it never has been that exciting to be a FileMaker developer than now, because for now, until now, FileMaker philosophy was baby step by baby step. I remember FileMaker 4.0, people standing and clapping like crazy just because they had finally copy and paste in scripts, right? So that's it. That was the function of the 4.0, right? So we came from this world to the 7.0 where they reinvented FileMaker, and then 12.0 where they expanded and they made it even bigger. And then WebDirect came, and then they expanded the server, and then they went to the cloud. They embraced cloud on two different ways. FM cloud in one side and AWS compatibility in another. And now we have this connection with this API, which now will give FileMaker pretty much unlimited possibility So this is really exciting because that was the missing piece for the, let's say for the next 10 years. That was it was missing. So
and to kind of dovetail on that a little bit, I mean, FileMaker's philosophy has kind of been let's play over here in our sandbox by ourselves, and as FileMaker developers, if you want to get outside the sandbox, that's your responsibility to get there. And finally, now they're saying, hey, let's open the sandbox up and let's help you get outside the sandbox to play with all the other all the other applications out there.
The connectivity is very important. We know now the connectivity is important because we have phones, we have iPads, we have, and we need, and nobody wants to code and stay or Sundays and like when people say, "Why are you using FileMaker?" Is you know why? Because I have a life. That's why I'm using FileMaker. I have a life on the side. I have a job and I have a life. So when you are coding with JavaScript and when you're coding with Xcode, when you're coding with you don't have a life. You're there all day long, Saturdays, Sundays, and stuff like that, and you even remember the name of your child. So it's true. I know many people like that, and they don't have a life. So that's why we are FileMaker developer, because we have a life, and this is making our life even easier. Okay, because we can now have very professional connectivity and very things that you can actually use. Because so far, the technology is great, but if I cannot use it, if I cannot do anything, it's useless, right? So I don't know what you think about this.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, the benefits. The benefits of FileMaker of cost and ease of development and rapid deployment. That's now. Before it's like, yeah, we can do it, we can do that. Oh, you want to talk to Slack and you want to talk to Box and okay, well then we can do that, but it's going to take some time. And now it's like now it's like FileMaker, yeah, we can go again.
Yeah.
So
and for who is on FileMaker platform for a long period of time. So the FileMaker success was that you can have a database on your desktop computer, on your floppy drive, and you have absolutely no code to type. Everything was graphical. The mouse, you were drawing things on the screen. That made FileMaker successful for the first 20 years. Then FileMaker started to look for options, and they started to go to you can integrate SQL now. You can integrate your own JavaScripts. But that means you need to be a SQL expert, and then that means you need to be a JavaScript expert, and then so that means you were becoming something that you don't really want to become, right? So, but that doesn't mean that you don't want to use that power, right? So, this for the first time now, for a long period of time, FileMaker is back to the original principle of its foundation, which is simplicity and just use it.
That's an amazing way to look at it.
We do have a question online about FileMaker and Android, which was kind of an interesting conversation. So the issue is primarily one where FileMaker is doing reinvestments in web interfaces, right? I mean, clearly long term, if you think about where things will be going in 2 or 3 years, we're talking about there's like the near-term stuff that we have. So FileMaker Claris Connect is a near-term capability, and there are things that are more long-term. And clearly a re-engineering of the web processes, clearly a re-engineering of the interface, and making this, building a lightweight development interface. You call it kind of FileMaker Lite. I mean, where FileMaker used to say no Android, now it feels like it's subject to negotiation, because we have a question about Android, and it's like, I mean, the new guys at Stand Play are not going to say no to Android. They're going to say yes to Android. So they have to maneuver the politics at Apple. Well, yeah, okay, but to be very clear, okay, so the question is about live code, okay? Live code takes a layout and a table and a script that's very limited and builds it. It doesn't build a FileMaker application, okay?
Yeah, it's kind of
it's extremely lightweight.
It's FileMaker Mobile back in the 90s.
Right, if you have a very light application, that's a really good question. They're here. So their thing is take your app to Android, but the reality is that if you try to take build a CRM, take it to Android, you get one layout and some stuff, and that's it. So
I don't think we have an answer for Android right away. What I call FileMaker Lite, that I said earlier, is kind of for the FileMaker. Is a FileMaker competitor of Airtable. Okay, so is to address a very specific need and address a very specific usage, right?
And from what they showed, it's a web product, so we're not talking about a local app on the Android or even on iOS.
No.
So
it's a web.
So to that point, we still have WebDirect, which
Yes.
you can use in Chrome on Android.
Yeah, exactly. So the answer today from if you want to deploy an Android solution is to deploy that using web. Okay, so WebDirect. For that, I strongly suggest that you watch our Lean Design course that we have available for free, which is 10 full hours of technique learning, experiencing things that I made with Richard a couple of weeks ago. So, and then you can learn how to make fast application for WebDirect. And then that means fast application for your Android customers, right?
Yeah, so that's a great point. Just a couple more questions we had come in. I just want to cover real quick. We already covered this first one here, card windows and WebDirect. Yes, they showed that. It is coming. They didn't mention when exactly that's coming. We're assuming
I have
sometime.
Because I got the information yesterday. You know, when the guy said, I said a Carl Star window on WebDirect, and one guy at FileMaker said, "Oh, I cannot say anything, but you'll be happy." so pretty much.
So coming soon to.
Yeah, they know it's a
WebDirect
priority,
near
and
you.
I know the squad over there of the WebDirect squad at FileMaker, and I know them, and I knew that, and I knew that was in the pipe, and it's very exciting for WebDirect developer. This is a game changing. It sounds ridiculous, but it's true, right?
So there was a question about integrate with Word. I mean, basically the integrations with Claire's Connect are online integrations, right?
Yeah.
So if it's Word that's online and it's like a Google Doc or something or what, I just don't know. I mean, I didn't see that.
This is unknown.
We don't know. They've boasted 150 plus integrations with Claire's Connect. We only saw a screenshot or two that showed 15 or 20 different integrations, and Word was not on there.
Actually, Word doesn't have any API capabilities.
It's not online API. So Google Docs does, but
Yes.
Word does not. So another question that popped up here, and were there any news or updates on FileMaker Server? They did not show any updates on that today.
We can assume something that FileMaker on the cloud, it's a full-fledged version of FileMaker Server. So FM Cloud is a FileMaker Server application behind it. So, and I know that everything they do, all the enhancements they do for the cloud is automatically embedded into the FileMaker Server application, and vice versa.
Yeah.
So. And they did that from day one on FileMaker Cloud, because FileMaker Cloud works very well. So we have some concern about the human side of FileMaker Cloud. That's mean, if something happened, you call and you say, "Oh, call later." Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we've had that conversation.
Yeah, we have that. So okay.
In video,
so we don't complain too much about the technology behind FM Cloud, which is kind of robust. Let's be honest. But it's if something happened, there's no human being behind it. So
now let me go ahead and chime in here a little bit. So there is this product called FileMaker. Well, we have the current cloud offering, which FileMaker internally calls Cloud 1. Okay, now this is slang, and they really don't like it when they call it but they really have this new version called Cloud 2. Cloud 1 is the one where we technically have to go through the process with AWS and set up the stack. It's very technically demanding. Cloud 2.0 is a product they said they're shipping in October. They said end of October. They were very specific about that. So Cloud 2 is their replacement technology. It's supposed to make life easier for everyone. Now, it's still an off-site server. My understanding from FileMaker is that they were upping their tech support for it. That they were, when I was, and this information is 4, 5, 6 months old, but they said it would be 24/7 tech support.
Yeah.
I don't know it's going to be 24/7. At one point they were considering that. I don't know. Clearly that's not been announced, but
unfortunately they have to. They have to work on two. If they want that to be successful, they have to work on two sides. First, they need to tie the technology to be like, okay, if there's no more space on the hard drive, don't crash the application. Just pause it, send an email, say, okay, we suspended your stuff because there's not enough space. Do you want more? Yes, yes. Don't crash my stuff, right? So they need to work on this, and then they need to work on the human side of this. That means having kind of maybe, I don't know if it's 24/7, but at least seven days a week, not Friday at 5 o'clock. Oh, we are bye.
yeah, which is what it does now, right?
Yeah,
which is
so,
why, yeah. So, to be honest with you, the conference, in case for those of you, if you were here, you'd see what we're talking about. But these basically, the stand play conversation, the Claire's Connect conversation, the cloud conversation is what they're trying to focus on, at least verbally. The product manager last night was very clear that the on-premise products were not going away. We hear you, we're not going to destroy that investment. However, they are going to be pushing the cloud side of it, the integration side of it, very, very hard. And so that's very exciting. However, while we're here, there's a limited number of hours in front of people. They're not talking about the on-premise products hardly at all. That they're primarily talking about is how they're going to extend into the cloud and leverage that. And you're going to have people who want on-premise products. I'm one of the guys that like some things to be on-premise. However, I see the value of connecting to Slack. We use a ton of Slack. Slack exists only in the cloud, only wirelessly, mobile, whatever. So I get the need to have on-premise product with connectivity elsewhere. So they said that they're obviously going to preserve that. And once again, strategically, part of this is their vision. And they spend a lot of time on their vision. And like I said, these guys over here, Garrett and Nick, they walked out of it really concerned this morning because it was so heavy on vision. It was so short on technical explanation that they wanted to, they were like, man, I don't know if I want to go on a live TV and talk about this because we don't know what they're doing. So then I sent them to another event. That's why you people need to be here. I say you people, but you in the internet in there, anyone in there, you should try to come to DevCon because A, we like to see your smiling face, and B, there's a lot of data. So next year, it'll even be bigger than this year because they'll be busy executing this tech. We'll already have this stuff. So, locals. I'm just going to answer the localization question real quick. It starts in the U.S. and they're going to roll it out very rapidly internationally.
As usual.
Yeah, no, but very rapidly because I talked to the VP of Engineering this morning myself, and he said they were beating themselves up getting the stand play. They took the stand play product, they're adapting it, then they're hooking it into the FileMaker, and then they're also localizing it, and they're like, go. They're like rushing to get it done. So they're in a big hurry to do that. Cloud 2 will be US first, and they'll roll it out much faster. There's been a lot of success with that.
Yeah, they already have the history of doing it once with Cloud
1, really. We'll call it Cloud 1.
And the revisions to Cloud that have come out. I mean, so we assume the rollout to different regions will come a lot faster this time.
So once again, reminder that slang is, and this is not the official term, you'll never see us on our website, but Cloud 1 is the current offering. Cloud 2, which they don't like to use that term publicly, is their new version that will come out. Cloud 1 will continue to exist through the end of 19, and then it won't be updated after that. So if you're on the cloud and you're on Cloud 1, you're on cloud right now, you'll need to migrate to the new one or work with a consultant to do it or work with Jacob Taylor or one of the folks here. Because the table here, you can only see us three, kind of more or less, but the table's surrounded with engineers who are madly working to make the broadcast work for you. So I want to say that this is officially sponsored by fmtraining.tv, and if you like the broadcast, you want this kind of live information, then I would ask those of you who need training or you know someone needs training, send them to fmtraining.tv, have them buy the complete bundle or get the video only bundle. Buy the training, support this, because when the money comes in, Yeah, but these guys have a big pile of technical equipment, Roland professional AV equipment that's making this possible. If we were dependent upon the hotel internet here, we would be screwed. This would not be happening. We had to bypass, wire our own stuff up to multiple cellular vendors simultaneously. So we're broadcasting out through all these different channels. So if something dies, it keeps going. So my technical guys are over there smoking and joking because it's working and they're very happy. But definitely I recommend the investment because it helps. You're going to learn something. And then, Lee's case, find someone that needs training and send them the link. Now here's the other thing. We have a 2-for-1 DevCon bundle, right? So Miles mentions it right here. That's Milo. So for $349, you get 2 full copies of our training. That's 2 annual subscriptions to our training, which includes Pro Advanced for Mac and Windows. For $349, that's a smoking deal, right? Yeah, so definitely let us know, let people know about the double deal. The link's right there. It's bit.ly/double-FM. That will get you $349, and we will send you the first one immediately, or whoever you want. Then you email us, let us know who you want the second person to get the second bundle, and we will basically gift it to them. So the double is super popular. It's like a double burger. I went to In-N-Out and said, could I have a double bundle of FileMaker? And they went. And then we did feed the gators last night. We hung poor David over the gator pit trying to feed him. They were feeding. In fact, we'll thread some gator footage in here of them eating bits of Junior Engineer. So if you have questions about our training, send us an email to support@rcconsulting.com. Once again, we recommend you check out the bundle.
So just to recap, thanks to everyone for watching today. If you aren't a subscriber on our YouTube or our Twitch channels, go ahead and do that, so that way we can keep you notified of when we're going to go live next. Lots of exciting stuff going on.
Yes.
The name of the company has changed to Claris. FileMaker product line is staying the same and staying with the name of FileMaker. They announced a new product, FileMaker Claris Connect, which is gonna take everything to the next level.
Yes, it's a new era that is starting today for FileMaker. It's, like I said, it's exciting, it's scary at the same time for them because they are stepping in the unknown for the company. It's a completely new philosophy that they have because they have new people, new faces, new CEO.
All right, so we do have a question here. So the short version is that if you want to use custom web publishing, once again, FileMaker has already said this for the last year or two. In the strategic sense of things, the FileMaker data API is what you want to migrate your code to. We have videos in our training about how to migrate your code to, right? We talked about, I'm looking at Nathan here, how about to migrate your code from PHP through using a library that kind of obscures, so the conversion is pretty simple. You'll continue to use PHP, but you're going to have to tweak your pages to work with the data API. We cover that in our training, right? Including talking about the libraries involved, okay? So if you go into our FileMaker Pro 8, it's in our 18 video course. If you go into the section on custom web publishing, it's down towards the end of the course. It's like the last videos we shot. We have a data library where we are taking the pages that are, and we talk about updating them so they work with the data API as opposed to the PHP gateway. The PHP gateway is going to go away. I think there's no question that it will go away. I don't know when. I suspect it'll still be in 19. After 19, it's anyone's guess. So if you want your code to still work and you're using the PHP gateway, check out our videos or go online or whatever you want to do, but you need to educate yourself on how to convert your code to work with a FileMaker data API.
I'm jumping to another subject, but it's kind of related. They have been clear since the beginning of this DevCon that we need now to be ready to be always up to date. This is a major announcement that they make multiple times. The thing that we need to be ready now to be always running on the latest version of the OS and the latest version of the products, because they won't keep the ascendant compatibility too much. And I kind of understand why they had to, they had to pick up their battles. So keeping a descendant compatibility for too long, that is a major effort, and sometimes is hindering the development. Say, okay, we cannot use this because otherwise we alienate our Windows XP, and so that's why they had to. So they are focusing on building new things. So, but they need to build the new features on the current technology. And that means maybe technology that is not compatible with 2 versions behind. So that's something I want to be, yeah.
And I was just gonna say, going back to the question about PHP, if you're looking at replacing your code, with the data API, one option that will now be an option in the future is Claris Connect. So you can have your web forms, instead of submitting to your database through PHP or through the data API, you can call a webhook that'll talk to Claris Connect and dump it into FileMaker that way. So
I think there's going to be a lot of options on how to solve it, and in fact there'll be more options to solve it, but you will have to invest the time. So if you have a legacy web page, customer front end that runs on the browser, you're going to have to invest to update that. I think that the takeaway, Nick, they were talking about this, but I think obviously if you're a Windows 7 person, your days are numbered in the FileMaker community. I would guess that probably Windows 7 probably would be supported in 19, probably. But pretty clearly, either in 19 or 20, they're going to kill Windows 7 support. I don't think there's any way around it.
Even Microsoft kills the support. So
yeah,
I mean,
I know, but a lot of people still use it. I'm just telling you.
No. I mentioned XP because here in the hotel they use XP as a.
Are they really?
Yeah. Okay. So I was like, wow. yeah. But that is, we are talking about another story here. But our customers, our users and the people using FileMaker, if they are behind with their OS technology, that mean they're still using FileMaker 14, FileMaker 15. So it's fine, but if you want to get advantage of new ways, of new techniques, even when what I'm showing on lean design and stuff like that, if you don't have 18, you get half of lean design possible.
Okay, cool.
Right?
All right. Well, I think we're about out of time. We got about 3 minutes left. We're waiting for questions. People are talking. What? Oh, FM starting point. Our stuff is everywhere. I'll get out of the way. Hang on. I'll get out of here. I'm moving. Jesse Barnum is demonstrating. So they've been toying with the new version of Starting Point that we haven't announced, that we're talking about, which we changed it out to use UUIDs instead of serial numbers, Garrett. And so what I want to do is I want to show the guys who are slaving away here. So what we're going to do, we're going to leave it on that camera. So here is the team of Miles. All right. There's a team of Charles who's playing air traffic control. And if we actually look down here, it's like 4 levels of tech. And it's blinky lights and mixers and stuff. And then over here, this is David, who we're threatening to feed to the alligators, little strips of him to alligators, because he's a video guy that kind of sucks. And this is William. He's the one who wired up the multi-stream broadcast for us. That way we could actually get the signal out, because if we leave it to the hotel, the whole thing just melts to the ground. So,
are we live?
We are actually live.
Hello world.
Hello world, right. Keeping on the latest OS and max noise possible smaller business. Yeah, Jason, that's a really good point about. So they were saying this last night. FileMaker already has this down to like the last 2 versions of the OS. I wanted to ask them well, how much tighter can you get it? But I think they were thinking Windows mostly, because they're supporting Windows 7, which is like 10 years old or plus or something. Make sure you like us. Tell your friends about our training, fmtraining.tv.
stepped up the whole way. Calm, cool, collected the quarterback. Great read, good patience. More importantly, great job up front protecting this quarterback to give you a chance. And that's all you can ask for.
Trying to rally down 10. 9:25 to go here in the fourth. Short motion by Amendola from the left. Brady takes the shotgun snap, stands in, throws it left for Amendola, reaches up and snacks a high throw and lands inside the 10, rolling to the 9. Ball slightly behind him, but Danny makes the grab.